Showtime, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shogun Zorra, and thank you for tuning in. And this is a review about My Hero Academia, Heroes Rising, the review from Shogun Zorra. And yes, I recently watched the movie about 2 hours ago, and I have to say this movie was freaking amazing. And of course, if you want to watch this movie, if you think you can watch it without having any other knowledge of My Hero Academia, then you can't, because there's many stuff that isn't explained if you haven't watched My Hero Academia. Because, of course, in the intro they also explain how Deku became a hero and everything, but you should have knowledge of the show, so you have to watch all the 4 seasons that's currently airing, all the seasons, and season 4 that's currently airing. And spoiler warning. Big spoiler warning, because I'm going to talk about the movie, also going to, things that happened. I'm going to talk about my opinion, and yeah, so spoiler warning. And I cannot say if this movie is canon, so meaning that if this movie fits in the in the correct storyline as the anime and manga, because in manga there was also like few hints. An anime also I don't think an anime, because I know for a fact this movie takes place after season 4, and season 4 is, as of this day, as of recording on 26th February 2020, still airing. So warning, you have to watch My Hero Academia 2 Rising Heroes if you haven't watched it. So warning. Okay, let's start this video. Let's start the review. The movie begins with villains versus heroes. We see the villains, or the League of Villains, riding in like a container, in like a big car where they held someone in there, and they're trying to escape from the heroes, and the heroes are trying to catch them. Of course, it's like a chasing scene. It's a cool beginning. Then we see Darby defeating most of the heroes that are chasing after behind them, and then we later see while they were driving, the villains are driving, you see Endeavor's in front of them and blocks the way, and then we see a fight between Darby and Endeavor. I thought they're going to have some going to see what kind of relationship they have. Not really a relationship, but a small conversation about they did. But the fight was cool. I thought this was a great start how to start the movie off. And yeah, Endeavor defeats Darby. And uses one of his more powerful techniques, I would say, against Darby. Then we see the car flips, and later we see that it's not the real League of Villains, because they were all doppelganger by twice. And later on, we saw a little bit while they were fighting Endeavor and Darby, that someone is in this in container, someone in a life container, someone holding a person in there. So later on the car flips and the car almost gets destroyed, and they look inside what was in the car where they were transporting the League of Villains, and then we see it was completely empty. And then we get introduced to 9, the main villain of the show. Yeah, the main villain of the movie, and I think this design is okay. And 9 we also see directly 9 is also meets with his crew. That is Slice, Mummy, and Chimera. And what I find weird, because 9 was still in the car, and then he's flipping. Then suddenly he's already met up with his crew. And from what I got from the story is, 9 couldn't have possibility to arrange the place and stuff. So it's kind of weird, because later we see 9 and he's reasoning why he is in this place, because what we see, 9 was recruiting people and helping, from what's the Chimera backgrounds, that he was helping him to escape the heroes, and 9 wants to recruit him and wants to build a world, build a society where only the strong will survive, and basically the strong will survive. And also, why he was in the container with the League of Villains is, in the League of Villains he wanted to get a test from the specific doctor that also helps the legal villain to amplify his quirk and help him out because his cells is destroying him and he gets weaker. So later on, yes, he got to the legal villain, got boosted, and we learned that he has the ability to wield 9 quirks, technically 8 different 8 quirks, but he has 1 quirk in it, so in total he has 9. He has the ability to wield 9 quirks. So he's on the hunt for people. Oh wait, see, he has the ability to have multiple quirks, and that's helped him that way. So later on, his goal now is to find someone who is capable to restore his cells, because it's been stated that his cells are destroying him, that he cannot really operate well because he got weaker, but he is more powerful than before. Then he's now trying to find someone who has the ability to, yes, heal cells, and so that's how everything starts. And then we get to the main characters, of course, Deku. It starts off like Deku is in an island where there are no pro heroes, and it's been said that the heroes, like the UA, has the idea that bring the UA students, like class 1A where Deku is, to the island because help out people, and then will help them to get more experience. And also we see like class 1A has like a helping agency, I don't know, because every time people from the town or from the island needs help, they will call the agency the hero agency, I would say, and then specific people from the class are going there and help them out. Like, I don't know, a cat is somewhere, a cat is missing, someone's missing, someone needs help with carrying someone, and then I think it's cool. I think it's a good way to show like hero work, because I think a hero is not always a person who fights villains. So good thing is, of course, recognizable, but also heroes are, I think people are heroes when they help people multiple different ways. Example, like helping someone out, and you can see also this type of stuff you do is also a hero like, and that's really good. And we get introduced to the island, of course, and then we get to introduce to the other 2 main characters, and these are these siblings, Katsuma and Maharu. Katsuma is boy, Maharu is a girl. Of course, you watched it. Of course, you watch this. You know this because you watched the movie, and that's my review. If you don't, then nevertheless, Katsuma and Maharu are the main 2 protagonists that addition to the My Hero story. These two young siblings are trying, of course, testing the heroes to see how the heroes are. And at first, we see Deku get a call from Katsuma that his sister is missing, and Deku is on his way, and then later meets up with him, and then we see that Deku asks for what's happening, where you need help, and then we see that explains that Maruo is that Katsuma is looking for his older sister Maruo, and then later we see in the background Maruo comes out and complains, scolds Deku for taking so long. From what I've seen from the phone was 6 minutes? Not 6 minutes, it was an hour. An hour was a lot that I thought. And she's talking, yeah, oh my god, Deku, you are not a good hero, you took so long, and then stuff. And then later on they do this again. The Katsuma goes to the health agency and says there's a villain. And then Baku hears this, and then he thought he's going now because he didn't do anything before then. And then Baku comes with, Deku comes with him, and then they're running to the villain, of course. And then we see like there's a big giant monster, and Baku fights him and like tries to fight him, and then realize something's off. Then he stops trying to fight, and then we see like the monster attacks Baku, and then later realize it's an illusion that is created by Maru, that she has a quirk, and then he's angry, of course, and pissed that she's did something like this because it's a hero, because it's hero work, and as a hero she shouldn't do this, and got angry that you think that's funny. Maru got scared, and then Maru tries to attack. Bakugo tries to talk to her, and then Deku holds him like you should stop and anything. And then the two of both young siblings are running away. So later on, Katsuma comes to the next day. Maho comes to the hero agency and wants to apologize because what they did, and explains like their story. And Baku hears in the background because he's not directly with him, and he says he talks about, yeah, my sister don't like really heroes because I think being a hero is very dangerous and stuff. And I think, and then we got a flashback about Deku when his mom couldn't bear this anymore, of how dangerous Deku gets injured and almost losing his life all the time, and she couldn't bear them. I think that's a good part because it's realistic. You wouldn't let your child do something very dangerous every time and then maybe think the next day he won't make it. So it's understandable. Baku listen, and then he also explains he doesn't have a great quirk and stuff. That's also, and then Deku tells him, should work hard and you can do it. Then later on we get introduced to the villains. So the villains get introduced to the heroes. The villains arrive at the island where no other heroes are besides the class 1A, and then they attack. And there's no service, so they can't call anyone from Japan to come rescue them, the island. And later on, before that, we got a call from Maho calling the hero agency, and the Baku picks up and says, "Oh my!" And Maho calls like, "Oh my God, that's a villain!" And then Baku didn't want to believe it. And it's kind of funny because, yes, because of this stuff, of course, of that prank that she did. It's reasonable, I think. Thought, and Deku hears it and then thought, "Okay, let's get serious." And then suddenly the call ends, and then everybody realized they don't have any service. And then the villains arrived, and the henchmen of M9. Mommy fights first against Toru, Mineta, and Ayuma. He has the ability to call show stuff like mummies, and they fight, and then they hold good. They had a good fight, but they couldn't do anything really against Mommy. And then later on, Bakugo, Kirishima, Denki, and Zero arrive. If I forgot some few characters, then I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry, because I had only the opportunity to watch the movie once. He has a fight against him, and then they had also a fight, and then they won. They captured Nami, and then Baku leaves to fight the other villains. In another area, Chimera's fight against Ojiro, and Asui is also there, but Asui says like she should rescue the other islanders to rescue, because yes. And then later on Chimera fights against Todoroki, Ida, and Takuyami and Sato, and they realized that he's way too strong. He was kind of holding back, and they were struggling. And the other UA students are trying to help the islanders to safety. And then we see Nine, the main villain, is approaching trying to capture Katsuma, because Katsuma has the quirk to restore cells of the specific blood type he is, as blood type 9 is, and he's blood type B. And right in the moment where he almost captured Katsuma, Deku arrives and saves Katsuma and Maho when they were both together, and it says they should leave. And then Nine's fights against Deku, and then we see Nine's quirks. He can shoot beam from his nails, also can create shields protect him, also shoot wind, and can also control the weather, and also summoning serpents, like serpent out of from his body. And when I saw that, I thought, oh my God, JoJo reference, it's like a stand. Yes, and later on they fight, and Deku goes from 8% to 20% fight them, and then realizes he's also not strong enough. And yeah, Nine has the ability, of course, the quirks, and then he realized Deku's really powerful, and he tried to grab him, and he realized that Deku cannot capture Deku's quirk, because he says it's not enough space for him because his quirk's so much. And then when I saw this, we saw the ancestors, or like the predecessor of One for All. And I was surprised because we saw some faces we haven't seen in the manga. I said, oh my goodness, this is manga spoiler. And then he revealed something that I thought, why? why do I have to reveal this? It's literally big spoiler, big reveal spoiler. He said like, oh my god, Deku has the ability to read multiple quirks, and I'm thinking, this was not necessary. It was really not necessary to tell to say this out loud, but yes, he did. And then he beats up Deku. Deku didn't have any chance. And then right in the moment Deku gets almost finished off, Bakugo arrived through the illusion that what's her name again? The illusion that Mahoru had created. And yes, both then Bakugo fights 9, and then 9 also used more of his quirks, and Bakugo had a little bit of own because he had a little bit of knowledge from Deku that he has multiple quirks, and then but still was not enough. Then later on, Bakugo and Deku fight them both together right on, and I thought the fight was cool. And there's specifically one fighting that I really thought it was amazing when Deku tries his new smash that I don't think we have heard before. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just forgetting it. Deku used San Luis smash where he does a kick. Yes, where does a kick against him, and then 9 does of course a windshield, and Deku flies over, but Bakugo grabs him in the air and then does a spin and throws Deku way harder, and then he used more of his power one for all, and then does the kick again, and this combination was pretty brilliant. But of course they both lose, and then when I used the lightning attack on them, and then Bakugo and Deku were almost about to die. 9 was about to finish them off, but 9 couldn't because he was coughing blood and he didn't have enough energy, because we see from this quirk, we analyzed that 9 cannot use much of his quirk because his body can take it. So this was a perfect opportunity for the other characters to rescue Bakugo and Deku and then escape. Later on, we see later on in the agency, we see Deku and his classmates talk about how they're going to defeat him, what they're going to do. And they talk about like they want to secure all the islanders into the smaller island that is next to the main island where they are, into a castle, because yes, 9 is after Katsuma. Katsuma has the ability to heal him technically and to heal 9, and so they also trying to protect him, and because they don't want that 9 takes any one of the village islanders as a hostage, so they put everyone, of course, to the castle to protect them. And they also had the idea because he needs to come to them. He wants when 9 and his crew comes, they want to separate them to on their own, so everybody has their own shot to fight them. And on the next day, it happened. So I thought everybody, yes, I wanted to say everybody, almost, I would say shine, because everybody used their quirk to the best abilities as they could to separate them. And of course, they had the idea to when they fight against 9 that he used all of his quirks so everybody can take it, and then and the other has a better chance. So they separate everything. And one scene what I find really impressive is when Ayuma, he started the whole fight. Ayuma was shooting beams at them, and it was really big beam, and then he went plus ultra and used more of his stomach beam, and then it was pretty amazing. I thought it was really like coming out, and you can see everybody develop or got stronger compared to the all like previous seasons. And then everybody does their best to separate them, and of course they succeeded. And Chimera fights against the squad that he fought yesterday, like in the show, like Toruki, Ida, Takayami. He was also Kirishima, also with Asumi, and yes, he fought against Kirishima, and then Slice fought against Takayama. And Asui and Ashido, Mina, and yes, they got separated and fought. And when Slice fought against Ashida and Takayami, there was a pretty heated fight, and they looked they brought her to a dark place where Takayami has more power, because in the dark he's more powerful, and then he fights. Everything is in beginning fine, but he's about to lose, and then she uses her power, and then Ashida uses her quirk to acid. I don't know. Use her power to acid, and then she cuts, technically slice hair. Of course, Slice has the ability to, of course, use her hair as like a scissor, like, and then it got of course, Slice hair got cut, and because she has now short hair, she's pointing like her hair, like her short hair, like with like needles, and shooting at them. And Ashida tries to escape, and she does spin rolls and everything. It's all pretty amazing to escape. And then she got hit with the hair needle on the slice to her leg, and then Ayuma raged, and then Takayama went berserk, like in the season 3 when he fought against the other illegal villains. It was pretty amazing. And then so thanks to that, he got the ability to defeat Slice. Later on, we saw the other characters like Todoroki, Ida, Unbreakable, Red Riot, and not Tatsumi. After we fight against Chimera, and Chimera uses more of his power, way more power, and he's powerful. He's transforming, and of course, it makes sense of his name, Chimera. He's transforming to a beast. And yes, and everybody was fighting, and then I won't talk specifically, but one scene where I really find amazing is when Beast is trying to do a beam that can almost destroy the whole forest, and then Red Riot, Kirishima used Unbreakable, to hold off the beam, and then to get Todoroki much closer to a Chimera, and then Unbreakable helped just applause because he hold his own really good. And then how Todoroki defeated Chimera was ice cold, no pun intended, but what he did was pretty amazing. I thought, damn, that is messed up. That is one rude way to defeat someone. Later on, we got, of course, 9 fights against the rest of the characters, and he's trying to make him use his quirk more so he gets more exhausted pretty easily. And then, but he didn't couldn't let him quirk. Oh my god, I cannot talk. Let him use his quirks that much before he could arrive to Katsuma and Moru being protected by Deku and Bakugo and the others. So they fight, and then later on he arrives. 9 arrives right against Bakugo and Deku, and they fought, and they fight really well. And then there's one scene where a lightning strike comes like in previous fights, and we thought they're knocked out. Then later we see 9 goes further and further, almost getting Katsuma, and then Shoji protects them a little bit, tries to hold them a little bit off, and then I thought this was cool, and then he did a good job to let them to get a little bit more time for Deku and Bakugo would come, because they came right back after the lightning and thing, and then 9 wonders why, and then we see Denki was protecting them because of his lightning. Of course, he used him to capture the light, so he wouldn't get, so that Bakugo and Deku can't really get attacked from this lightning. So they fight, but they lose, and then right in the moment where 9 couldn't take anymore because he's about to cough blood and he doesn't have enough power in his body, he went berserk. Then we see a freaking tornado coming, and I'm thinking, goodness gracious, that was CGI, but I thought CGI was done well by Bones. Good job. And I thought, damn it, what should I do? I thought maybe someone would come and give them hope, but both of them couldn't use the full power. Deku used 100% on one power. Bakugo used like his air tailspin where he flies off and then tried to fight against Storm, but they couldn't. And then the serpent from 9 comes and then grabs him, and they were out defeated. They couldn't do anything. And then 9 was about to capture Katsuma, and then Deku said, "We have only one chance. We have only one chance." And then he he lifts his broken arm, and Baku lifts his arm, and then they grab their hands together, and Deku brings his one for all power, transfers his one for all power to Bakugo. And oh my goodness, then yes, this was a surprising scene, and then boom, they both went 100% off, and it would look so amazing. And I thought, damn, it's damn impressive. The animation, oh my goodness, it's so dead. And they both used Destroy Smash like All Might did in the first episode when there was raining, and the awful All Might used Destroy Smash and create a tornado, and they both did this. They both did Destroy Smash to counterattack ninth tornado that he created, and then you see Deku, both arms were broken, and then Baku was also got broken through the attack, and then he of course he said it hurts, but of course for Deku it's normal because Deku uses all the time, and they both fight in the image and the music. Beautiful. Music was beautiful at the moment. Oh my goodness, I can't say anything. I don't want to describe it, but the fight, oh my goodness. And the they defeat him, and I thought this fight was so amazing. I was so happy. Please watch the movie. Then yes, they defeated them, Baku and Deku, and then later on the villain comes not the villain, the heroes outside from the islands comes to rescue back and the other peoples, because in the day before Momo created a drone to rescue the SOS drone to the island to get help from the heroes. And then yes, heroes came, and All Might came, and All Might was there and was holding Deku and Bakugo, and Deku said he's sorry because he transferred one for all to Bakugo, because Bakugo was the only one who also knew this. And Bakugo and Deku used all his power, like All Might did against All for One. They used all that one for all power to defeat this enemy. And they thought if they don't protect the if they don't use all the powers now, they will lose they are not worth being heroes, and they need to protect them. And he used all this power, and so Deku talking to All Might and saying this all the time, and he was of course sad because All Might trusted Deku. Deku was sad and he was sorry, but at the same time he was not regretting it, because if he didn't do that, most of them would die. And Katuma would also die, and then he has the ability. Then Nai was so OP, but then it turns out Baku was still unconscious, and then the power was still left in Deku. And yeah, Baku got everything, and everybody got rescued, and the heroes came and rescued everyone, and also to help in the class 1A. And we see one thing where where Endeavor is hugging Todoroki like happy, and this one specifically shows that this takes right after season 4. Also season 4, because also Hawks is there and also talks to Tokiyami and says, and they know each other, because also in the anime right now they don't know each enemy. They couldn't know we couldn't know that they know each other. So yes, this was my review of My Hero Academia. I have to say, I give this movie a 9.5 out of 10. The animation, I don't have to say anything, was so good, was 15 out of 10. The thing is, compared to the last movie, Rising Heroes? No, not Rising Heroes. The first movie. The movie felt like the extended episode of My Hero, like almost like an OVA, but in 1 hour. And the animation was not that different compared to the regular anime. Also, with this was also more the case. I've noticed also the character design changed a little bit, also in a few scenes, but I thought it was still looking good. And the animation, the final fight, oh my goodness, was so amazing. And the music, my problem with the first movie is they didn't use new music, they didn't compose new music. They used more music, and also in the fight scene, specifically when both of them used Bakugo and Deku used one for all against 9 was so amazing. And I wish they would have also done when Deku was 100% against Overhaul, but they didn't. And here I wish only they used a little bit more music in different fight scenes. Then I would have given it a 10 out of 10 because I don't have anything to say about the movie. The characters everybody did their best. You could see everyone did their best and fought well, and I was so happy to see that. Yes, animation 50 out of 10. Music, I wish music could have been a little bit there, and then I was just so happy, and I'm so surprised they spoiled so much. I didn't say all the spoilers because yes, but you will see them, and I was thinking, wow. Well, in the end, the death of M9, killed by Shigaraki, was cold. I'd say yes, it was cold. And yeah, that's my review about My Hero Academia, Heroes Rising review. The bond between rising rivals. I have to say, Deku and Bakugo rivalry, I didn't really like, because I don't thought they were really good rivals, like in terms of rivals, because compared to the other rivals we've seen, you have to compare them. Goku and Vegeta, Kaiba and Yugi, Naruto and Sasuke. I thought they were not really good rivals because they didn't really, I would say, accept them as a rival. But in this movie, they're both like Bakugo. Like, we know everybody how Bakugo characters, but Bakugo was still him, but he set everything aside. Not like when All for One was had Bakugo and was refusing. They both knew each other. If they both work together, they can defeat them. Both work together, and I thought just please watch the movie. You can see like the rivalry was much better handled compared to the rest. And the final scene in the movie was really touching when Katsuma, of course when A finished the intervention or something, and then finished, and then they were going away with the ship, and Katsuma was trying to follow them, and then Deku says, "You can also be a hero." This was a touching moment because, of course, this was the same words and All Might said to Deku, "You can also be a hero." And I talked about this. See, it's 30 minutes long. I'm sorry if you still made it. Then write down in the comment section below. Rising Bond, #Rising Bond, and it really shows. And please watch the movie. The movie was pretty amazing. Yes, probably have to watch it. Oh my goodness, this movie is so amazing. I'm so grateful to watch and to have watched this movie, and thank you, of course, Manga UK. That's it, I've talked enough. If you enjoyed this video, please punch the like button, and if you enjoyed this channel, please unite this. Stay 100% one for all the subscribe button, and stay healthy, and don't forget, life for Showtime. Peace.